Hello and welcome back to Prepared SLP, Graduate Apps 101. Today we're on Unit 3, Lesson 3.4. We're going to be covering essays and introduction videos. So an essay, very typical for all your graduate schools that you're going to be applying to. Typically, you're going to be seeing about 2 to 4 prompts per program. Things like, why did you choose speech language pathology? What are your strengths and weaknesses? What experiences do you have in the field? Or what is your view on diversity and how would you approach it in the clinical setting? So lots of different types of essay prompts that you can get, but what you'll find is that there's typically a pattern between these prompts. So one of the things I want you to think about, use your resume as a guide to your essays, especially for those more personal ones, like why did you choose speech language pathology, or what experience do you have within the field? Make sure that you expand upon your soft skills. So instead of saying, I had a leadership opportunity and then after that, did a volunteer opportunity, and basically listing your resume, talk about those softer skills. So what kind of empathy do you have? What kind of leadership style do you use? Make sure that you're being personable in narrative. So again, making it more about you as an individual. Also make sure that you're making it about them. So why is this program one that will fit you well? Why do you think you'll fit them well? Kind of making it that mutually beneficial relationship. Another thing about organizing your essays. So what I found very useful is making a separate document for each program, kind of copying and pasting those prompts. That way I knew exactly what essays I needed and where they were going to be going. It also gave me an overview in terms of finding that pattern between those essays. Can I write one essay kind of as my master essay and then tailor that essay in order to match all the other programs I'm applying to? The other thing you can consider, just to make sure that you're going through it, write essays in Word and Google Docs, and consider using Grammarly. It's a really nice tool, even if you just do the free trial. All right. What I had mentioned before was crafting that master essay. So again, most of the schools that you're going to be applying to will have that more general question about why speech language pathology, why this program. One way to kind of make sure that you're having that master essay be as modifiable as possible, having your first paragraphs highlight your experience and goals, and then having that final paragraph be, and this is how this university in particular matches my experiences, matches my goals for the future. And I'll give you an example of that as we review my essays that I entered for University of Iowa, for Vanderbilt, and then for other programs that I applied to. A video introduction. So this is relatively new. I did not do video introductions when I was applying to graduate school. I think because of COVID-19 and all the different Zoom interviews they're doing, this became a lot more popular. But essentially, you're going to treat it like an interview, and we're going to be going in depth about interviews during the next lesson. But you're going to want to do things like dress business casual when you're recording yourself, have a simple backdrop, no big distractions, prepare notes, look at the camera, be confident. The nice thing about these videos is that you can redo them if you need to. So always know you can practice, 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 and then that one that you nail it can be the one that you submit. So just keep that in mind as you're going through those. But typically these video introductions are introduce yourself in 2 minutes and describe X, Y, and Z. So for example, University of Arkansas has a video introduction. Introduce yourself, talk about the ASHA Code of Ethics and why it's important clinically. Different things like that. So keeping that in mind, you're going to be preparing it almost like you would an essay, just making it a little bit more natural in terms of your flow because you will be speaking it rather than just writing it. Again, here's my example from University of Arkansas. Why is it important for SLPs to have a code of ethics? One way you could break that down is, what is the code of ethics? Looking at ASHA, kind of breaking that down as you're going into the prompt and into your answer. How does this impact clinical practice? Saying, here's the ASHA Code of Ethics 1. Here's how it impacts me as a clinician. So just taking that in mind, and I'll probably do kind of an example video introduction for you just so you can have an idea of what that might look like. So your carryover task for this week will be to utilize each download that I have for you and make a list of each program and their essay prompts. So like I said, have a different document for each program, copy and paste each and every one of those essays from those universities you're applying to. Determine how you can create a master essay that fits all your programs. Write a rough draft of the master essay with the use of your resume as a guide. Again, just to go through and say, here's my experiences, here's those soft skills that I used in there. And then once your rough draft is complete, again, I want you to make sure you get other eyes on this. Make an appointment with the Division of Student Affairs at your current college, or you can go ahead and email me, sign up for an essay consultation. And again, I can give you some feedback on that essay. We can talk through it for a slightly additional cost. All right. And now for week 8, so I did want to break this up into 2 weeks because I do know that these essays take a long time to write. It's hard to think through, get it all on paper. Complete additional essays that fall outside of that master essay template. Then also create a video script. So after you've written your essays, you can probably use a lot of those for any of the video introductions that you have to complete. Once those are done, again, make an appointment, go to that student affairs and make sure you're getting other eyes on it. And again, you can go ahead and email me if you need to. I also want you to record your video introduction once your edits are received. And then again, watch it, try again, try again, try again as much as you need to. All right, that is the end of this lesson. Let's go ahead and take a quick pause. I'm going to switch over and look at our handouts. So our first handout here that we're looking at is applying to programs, essays, and introduction videos. This is resource links to various cover letter examples that you can use. Some of them are more about formatting, like the University of Iowa's website here, cover letter checklist by University of Arkansas, but then you can get a couple different examples of cover letters as well. I wanted to give you my personal cover letter that I completed for graduate school. And this is an example of my quote unquote master essay. The prompt is here for the University of Iowa, talking about any volunteer or experiences I have in the field, expand on any awards. So I went in and I was, again, very personal in my essay. So I talked about an experience that I had as a graduate student working with the Listen and Speak Up program at University of Iowa. And I apologize, as an undergraduate when I was volunteering at the Listen and Speak Up program. Went through and discussed how that kind of shaped me as a clinician and as a future clinician, why I wanted to continue in speech pathology, different honors and rewards that I had received, and how I think that I can contribute to the program and why University of Iowa specifically. Now, what you can see here, going over to the next tab, I use the same exact essay for my statement of purpose for Vanderbilt. Write about your experiences and interests. Make sure that you talk about your envisioned future career, and then tell us about things that we can't learn from test scores. So here's where I, again, use the same exact information. You can see as you go through this and review it, minor tweaks in those first 3 paragraphs until I get to the end, talk a little bit more about my research because it was a very research-based university. And then I also, in my conclusion, talked a little bit more specifically about why Vanderbilt, why I thought they were the one for me and I was the one for them. So you can see you can really save yourself a lot of time during those master essays by making sure you're not reinventing the wheel every time, but using what you already have. All right, that is the end of our lesson 3.4. We'll go ahead and pick things up next time in lesson 3.5, talking about your different aspects of your application, finishing things up. And until then, email me with questions if you need to at preparedslp@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you next. Thanks so much.